Hi guys, this is Rusty 78609 in Capitan, New Mexico, fixing to be in Ruidoso. I'm turning left here. It's going to be a little shaky because this street right here is bumpy. But just bear with me, guys, bear with me. This is the home of the Tigers, even though everything in town is named after Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear, but just Smokey Bear. But having said that, guys, this is going to be a good day. I mean, it's always a good day if you make it that way. But anyway, two things. I went by the post office and was surprised by some interesting stuff sent to me by the viewers, which I will show you in a mail call video this afternoon sometime. Second thing is, while I was at the post office, since the RV park that I'm moving to is just right next door, I walked around back to the post office and looked to see if that spot was available that I want, and guess what? It is! So anyway, it was a little early. It was right around 8 o'clock. I didn't want to disturb the owner of the RV park. So I just called on the phone and left a message that if that spot was available, which it is, to give me a call and we'll work out the deal. So anyway, that's good. And, I noticed that I went over and looked at the site real closely so I'd know exactly where to park when I got there. It's a nice private little spot, and I'll show it to you when I get there. But there's cable there. You know what I mean? Like cable. And I thought, well, hold on. Now, you talk about getting super fast internet. How about cable? Well, anyway, I don't know if it's available or not, but would I do that? Well, maybe if the price was reasonable and it was reliable and all those things. Yeah. But we'll see about all that. But anyway, we're on the way to Ruidoso, which is about 17 miles, but it takes about 25 minutes because you can't go very fast on this road. I don't go very fast on any road ever, as you know. And so we're just going to cruise and take a little drive this morning. And you get to see the mountains and all the stuff around Ruidoso. Ruidoso, I think, is about 500 feet higher in elevation than Capitan. And Capitan is about 6,500 feet. Population of Capitan is about 1,600 population, permanent population. In the summer, that grows a little bit because they do get tourists in the summer bailing out of those hot states, and there's also just the normal tourism that occurs in the summer, and they get a piece of that. And the population of Ruidoso, I think, as I recall, is around 7,500 or so permanent population, and then of course in the summer it swells up pretty quickly to probably 10 or 11,000 because they do have a lot of RV parks there that fill up, and I mean fill up. And they're expensive. Well, to me, they're expensive. To anybody else, they're probably cheap. But, everything's relative. And if I had rich relatives, I wouldn't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, everybody I'm related to is poor as dirt, except one, and I won't mention that individual's name. Actually, none of them are poor as dirt. I mean, they're all actually upper middle income. I'll get it out here in about 2 days. But yeah, we're cruising along about 43 miles an hour, and I know that people hate me for that out here on this highway since it is a 2-lane. But the speed limit, I think, is like 45 here, and then it goes up to 55 max on this road. So here we go over the mountain. Oh, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, it's a nice drive. It's really scenic. I always look forward to it, and I plan on going to Ruidoso once a week, maybe, or on an as-needed basis to get some grocery items and things that you cannot get in Capitan. You can get about 90% of everything, or at least everything I need or want, in Capitan, New Mexico. But again, I mentioned before, blueberries are a little pricey. Gasoline's about 20 or 30 cents a gallon more. And even though I'm not using hardly any gasoline, in a week, the last time I filled up, I was in Ruidoso. That's been over a week ago. And I have used, according to my fuel gauge, which, you can't really tell how many gallons, but I'm going to estimate on the high side that, let's see, this thing's got a 24-gallon tank. and I've used 1/8 of a tank, but when it comes off full, so I'm going to say I've used at least 4 gallons in a week. 4 gallons, okay, 4 gallons, that's $10 a week, roughly, round numbers, for gasoline. Is that nice? Yeah, it's half of what I was paying at my home base in Texas, because to go to the grocery store. But of course, I did a lot of driving there, and I'll probably do more driving here once I get completely settled. So it'll probably be about the same for the gasoline. But it's a pretty steady climb all the way to Ruidoso, even though it's not much higher in elevation. But it's a nice drive, guys. Anyway, things are, I got some stuff. I got some mail. I did. Oh, I also got my gimbal, and it looks really neat if I can figure out how to use it. It's got several settings, but what I plan to do is just use the first 2, which are the basic settings. I'm not into this fancy stuff. I just want to do some walking videos around Capitan, and maybe I'll drive over to Ruidoso in the season and let you see the crowds on the street, and we'll do some stuff. I met a guy this morning from the Netherlands in the RV park as I was looking at the site. He and his wife, girlfriend, are traveling for 2 months in the States. They have rented an RV from Cruise America, Class C, and they're going checking stuff out. They're going to see the large array near Socorro today. And I mentioned to him that just a little further down the road, about 20 or 30 miles, is a BLM campground called Daddle Wells, and he's going to check that out. Yeah, I think they'd enjoy it. I told him that there were no hookups, but there was water available, but it was really cheap, like for them, probably $6 a night. And, that's, you can't get it any cheaper than that. Because I know right there where he's parked overnight at that Mama Bear's, he's paying at least 30 a night, maybe 40, I don't know. But I would say 30. I don't think she's as high as everybody else. Why, I don't know. But yeah, I love this little drive here. It's really nice, and it's funny. I love changes. You know what I mean? I love the variety of life that you can add flavor to your own life. And so even though I've only been at that Pinon RV park for like 10 days. And but anyway, she gave me a $100 refund because of the bad water. So I'm in. That's a net. I paid $250. I got $100 back, so I'm $150. Plus, she said she wasn't going to charge me for the electric, which is fine. I haven't used hardly any anyway. So I'll end up losing. If you divide that by 10 or 11 days, you're looking at less than $10 to $15 a day, depending on how many days I end up staying. But I'm not looking at it that way. I want that spot, in town, and it's available, and so we're going for it. And it's got some privacy. There's some little buildings. Anyway, I'll show it to you. I'll do a video of it and show you all of it. But anyway, what else? Not much else. Just cruising, babe. Just cruising. I'm going to take a drink of my green tea. I'm not going to eat my almonds, though. I won't do that. I won't put you through that chewing misery. Oh, that's good. Well, we're bumped all the way up to 55 now. We're rolling now. We're smoking. Yeah, when I get up to 55, that's about as close to light speed as I get. Yeah, I think about people in the cities right now. Traffic jams, traffic whizzing by, people on the interstates, traffic whizzing by and racing, and here I cruise along at 55 and there's not a person on the road. That one car passed me, and I see one car way back behind me. But they're gaining fast. And this road is not perfectly smooth, so that's the way that is. Some of that shaking probably makes people seasick. But to get a phone with image stabilization, and I will, the next phone I get will have image stabilization, but I'm going to wait till the prices are a little more reasonable. There's a speed limit sign there on the right, says 55, and I'm going 55, so for you speed freaks behind me, if there are any, well, there's one, then you'll just have to bear with me. you know, it says speed limit, you know what I mean? Like that's the limit. You don't have to go the speed limit. You can go slower than that if you choose. You're not going to win any friends, but that's the way that goes, you know, different strokes for different folks. And the windsock, I got my windsock, so when I get set up in town, I'll try to figure out a spot for the windsock. Windsock man. And soon to be gimbal man. I'll go gimbling. We'll go gimbling in the mornings after I do comment call. We'll go gimbling. And then we may take a drive. There's a nice little Class B, C. Yeah, they got a problem with their toad. Yep, the more stuff you have, the more chances for a problem. The less stuff you have, the less problems you're going to have to deal with. And the less holes you have poked in the roof of an RV, the fewer leaks you're going to have. I got a vent for the plumbing and the skylight. That's it. Oh, well, the skylight over the shower, and then the skylight where I put the Max Air vent fan. Yeah, that thing's wonderful. I love that Max Air vent fan. I do. Because on these days where it's kind of in between turning on the air conditioner and not, I turn that vent fan on level 3 and perfect. As long as this dry air is moving, you're in good shape. But anyway, guys, this is Highway 48. We're on the way to Ruidoso, New Mexico. Speed limit just dropped down to 45. And so we're not far. This is the intersection up here on the right, I think. Yeah, that you go, if you turn right up here at this little intersection, you would go to Carrizozo. Even though it's not on the sign, that's the way you go. That's Highway 37. We're on Highway 48 south. That's Rio Bonito, which means small river. Or excuse me, Bonito? Maybe that's Pretty River. I'm not sure. Bonita. Maybe so. I'm not sure. Bonita. But Ita usually means little. Like Chiquita is the little chick. Safety corridor. Speeding fines doubled. I heard you. We've been down that trail before, haven't we? They had a little forest fire over here a few years ago, and it sure cleared out some pine trees. And I think these are ponderosa pines in here. And I believe this is called the Lincoln National Forest. Climbing, climbing, climbing. Keep those doggies climbing. You know, whenever people came across here 150 years ago in wagons and on horseback and walking, I promise you, I don't know how they did it. I promise you. You got to be made out of leather, man. No kidding. I mean, you got to, well, of course, if that, you know, back then living, just plain old living anywhere was hard. So I guess out here it wasn't much different. There's the Carrizozo schools doing something. You know, this time of the year, all the schools and the teachers are doing their outings, you know, because they're running out of subject matter to do things, and so this is when the teachers love it, because yeah, the field trips are great. Classroom time is a little difficult for the teachers and the students. Good old windy mountain road here. Glad I'm not pulling an RV. Yeah, we may try that cable, and if it works, I may, end up dropping Verizon. But man, I hate to, because it even though it's slow, it's reliable. That's all I can say about Verizon. I think we're close to coming into Ruidoso right now, or we can't be, can we? It's been 14 minutes. I don't think so. But anyway, I'll end the video here in a minute, and we'll talk again this afternoon at mail call. And once I get my gimbling. Well, we'll gimbal. Gimbling. Keep those videos gimbling. Yep. How do you eat an internet elephant? I think Mike left a comment related to that. He said, how do you eat an internet elephant? You eat it one bite at a time, one B-Y-T-E bite. But having said that, guys, I'm going to end the video, and so let's do it. thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything your little heart desires anytime. But use the link to Amazon products in the description of my video. Why? Because I get a little commission. Doesn't cost you a dime. What else? For those of you that have used the link and are using the link to Amazon products, thank you very much. Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day is okay. Take deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out slowly. Why? That relieves stress and lowers your blood pressure, and that's good for you. And what else? Stretch, walk. I've done my stretches, and I did a walk while I was in Capitan. After I went to the post office, I took about a 40-minute walk, and now we're headed to Ruidoso, where I can gas up, fill up my water jugs, and get some groceries. But you know, since I'm moving and I can drink the water, well, if she hadn't called me back, and they may be on vacation for all I know, and she may not call back for a week. So, having said that, guys, enjoy your day, enjoy your life. Why not? Why not enjoy it? So anyway, adios amigos. Thumbs up, all that, bye-bye.